Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Grab your tissues because this one is going to hit you right in the heart. Right now, imagine this. The huge glass building is shaking. Alarms are screaming. Smoke is everywhere. A tiny girl's voice is crying. Daddy, help. I'm scared. She's only 7. She's trapped. And the person running straight into the danger, without thinking twice, is the same woman the powerful CEO always looked down on. The cleaner. The one he treated like she was nothing. Amara. She's pushing past security guards who are shouting, "Stop. It's not safe." Her uniform is already dirty from work, but she doesn't care. She's climbing over broken things, coughing from the smoke, calling the little girl's name. "Sua. Sweetheart, I'm coming. Don't move, okay? Auntie is here." And somewhere behind her, the cold, perfect CEO Ji-hoon Kong is frozen. For the first time in his life, he feels something crack inside his chest. Because the woman he dismissed every single night is risking her own life for his daughter. Where are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing you guys from Lagos, Accra, London, New York, everywhere. This is one of the most important stories we've told on this channel. Let's go back to the beginning. Old, handsome, rich, powerful. But his eyes are always cold, like ice that never melts. Everyone in the company is afraid of him. If you make one small mistake, he can end your job with one sentence. People say he has no heart. They say he became like this after his wife died 3 years ago. Now he only cares about 2 things, his company and his little daughter, Sua. Sua is 7. She has big eyes and soft black hair. She smiles a lot, but she is often alone. Her daddy is always working. Nannies take care of her, but they change every few months. Sua wants someone who stays. Down in the building, very late at night when almost everyone is gone, Amara comes to work. She is from Nigeria. She came to Seoul 2 years ago to make money for her family back home. Her mom who is sick, her 2 younger brothers still in school. Amara is 28. She is tall, strong, and always smiling even when she is tired. Her skin is dark and beautiful. Her hair is wrapped in a colorful scarf. She speaks English with a sweet accent and a little Korean she learned from YouTube. Amara's job is to clean the offices after everyone leaves. She mops floors. She wipes tables. She empties trash. She makes the place look perfect for the important people who come in the morning. Most people don't even look at her. To them, she is invisible. But Ji-hoon notices her, only to get annoyed. Every night when he stays late, he sees her pushing the cleaning cart. He never says thank you. He never says good evening. Sometimes he snaps, "You're too slow. Finish faster." Or "Don't touch my desk." Once he said, "Why do you always hum those songs? It's distracting." Amara never answers back. She just bows her head a little and keeps working. But inside, she prays for him. She says quietly to herself, "God, touch that man's heart. He looks so lonely." One evening, Ji-hoon is extra angry. A big deal fell through. He lost millions. He comes down in the private elevator at 11 p.m. Amara is cleaning the lobby floor. She moves her bucket so he can pass. Ji-hoon stops. He looks at her like she is dirt on his shoe. "You," he says. His voice is sharp. "Tomorrow, don't come back. I want someone else." Amara freezes. Her hands shake on the mop. She needs this job. If she loses it, her family won't eat. Her mom's medicine will stop. She looks up slowly. Her eyes are calm, even though her heart is beating fast. "Sir," she says softly, "I'm sorry if I did something wrong. Please tell me what I did. I will fix it." Ji-hoon laughs, but there is no happiness in it. "You think you can fix anything? You're just a cleaner. Replaceable." He walks away. The elevator doors close. Amara stands there for a long time. Tears fall, but she wipes them quickly. She finishes her shift anyway. Because that's who she is. She doesn't give up. The next day, the head of cleaning tells her, "Sorry, Amara. Orders from the top. You're out." She packs her things. She leaves the building with her head high, even though her chest hurts. But fate has other plans. 2 days later, there is a big company event in the headquarters. Everyone is invited, even the cleaners, because they want the place to look perfect. Amara is not supposed to be there, but her friend who still works there begs her. "Just come help for a few hours. They won't notice. Please. I need you." Amara agrees. She wears her old uniform. She stays in the background, arranging chairs, cleaning spills, smiling at the guests. Sua is there too. She is wearing a pretty pink dress. But she looks bored and lonely. Her nanny is busy talking on the phone. Suah sees Amara wiping a table. She walks over slowly. "Hi," Suah says in a small voice. "Do you have any candy?" Amara smiles big. She pulls a small sweet from her pocket, the one she always keeps for children. "Here you go, beautiful girl." Suah takes it. She smiles for the first time all night. "Thank you, Auntie." Amara's heart melts. She kneels down. "You are welcome, little princess." They talk for a few minutes. Suah tells Amara about her school, her drawings, how she misses her mommy. Amara listens like it's the most important thing in the world. Jihoon is across the room, talking to important people. He glances over. He sees his daughter laughing with the cleaner, the one he fired. His jaw tightens. He starts walking toward them. But before he reaches them, the lights flicker. A loud bang echoes. Something in the building's new construction area explodes. Smoke pours out. People scream. The fire alarm goes off. Chaos everywhere. Suah gets scared. She runs. She doesn't know where. She just wants to hide. She runs toward the back of the building, straight into the area under renovation. A part of the floor is open. Wires hang down. Dust and smoke make it hard to see. She trips. She falls. She cries, "Daddy! Daddy!" Amara hears the cry. Her heart stops. She drops the cloth she was holding. She runs. Jihoon is shouting for his daughter. Security is trying to control the crowd. No one knows where Suah went. Amara pushes past people. She goes straight toward the smoke. She sees the little pink dress on the ground. Suah is holding the edge of a broken floor, legs dangling. Below her is a deep drop, maybe 2 floors. Amara doesn't think. She lies down on her stomach. She reaches out. "Suah, look at me. Hold my hand." Suah is crying so hard she can barely see. But she hears the voice, the same Ani from before. She reaches up. Their fingers touch. Amara pulls with all her strength. Her arms burn. Smoke stings her eyes. But she doesn't let go. She pulls Suah up slowly. She holds her tight. They both fall back onto the safe floor, coughing. Suah buries her face in Amara's chest. "Auntie, you saved me." Amara rocks her gently. "Shh. I've got you. You're safe now." At that exact moment, Jihoon runs in. He sees his daughter in the arms of the woman he fired. The woman who just risked everything. His legs almost give out. He walks forward slowly. His voice shakes when he speaks for the first time without anger. "Amara." Jihoon stood there, breathing hard. Smoke still floated in the air like ghosts. The emergency lights flashed red and blue across his face. He looked at Suah first. His little girl was safe, wrapped tight in Amara's arms. Then he looked at Amara. Her uniform was covered in dust and small tears from sharp edges. Her scarf had slipped a little, and sweat made her forehead shine. But her eyes were steady. She was rocking Suah gently, whispering, "You're okay now, baby. Auntie's got you." Jihoon's mouth opened, but no words came out at first. He had never felt this before, like something heavy was sitting on his chest, squeezing. Finally he said, "Give her to me." Amara looked up at him. She didn't argue. She carefully passed Suah over. The little girl didn't want to let go. She held onto Amara's neck for a second longer, then buried her face in her daddy's shirt. Jihoon held his daughter like she was made of glass. He kissed the top of her head. His hands were shaking a little. Security finally rushed in. They shouted, "Sir, we need to get everyone out. The building is not safe yet." Jihoon nodded, but he didn't move right away. He looked back at Amara. She was still on the floor, trying to stand up. Her leg had a long scratch, and blood was starting to show through her black pants. "You're hurt," he said. It wasn't a question. It was the first time he spoke to her without anger in his voice. Amara touched her leg and winced. "It's nothing, sir. Just a scratch." Jihoon frowned. He turned to one of the guards. "Get the medic team here. Now." Then he looked at Amara again. "You shouldn't have gone in there." Amara smiled small. "I heard her crying. I couldn't just stand there." Jihoon didn't answer. He just stared at her for a long moment. Then he turned and carried Suah toward the exit. Amara stayed behind for a second. She took a deep breath. Her whole body hurt now that the fear was leaving. But she felt something warm inside. Suah was safe. That was enough. Outside, ambulances and fire trucks lined the street. People were crying, hugging, talking on phones. Jihoon put Suah in the back of his black car. A doctor came to check her. She was okay, just scared and a little cough from the smoke. Jihoon sat beside her, holding her hand. But his eyes kept going back to the building door. Amara came out last. She was limping a little. A medic tried to help her, but she waved them away. I'm fine. Go help the others. She started walking toward the bus stop. It was late. Very late. She just wanted to go home and sleep. But before she could cross the street, a black car pulled up beside her. The window rolled down. It was Ji-hoon. Get in, he said. Amara stopped. She looked surprised. Sir? I said get in. His voice was still sharp, but not mean. My driver will take you to the hospital. Then home. Amara shook her head. I don't need. You're bleeding. And you saved my daughter. He looked straight at her. For once, don't argue. Amara hesitated. Then she opened the door and sat in the back. Suwa was asleep now, head on her daddy's lap. Ji-hoon looked down at his daughter, then at Amara. The car started moving. No one spoke for a long time. Finally, Ji-hoon said quietly, Why did you do it? Amara looked out the window at the city lights. Because she's a child. Children shouldn't be afraid. And I know what it feels like to be alone when you're scared. Ji-hoon didn't say anything, but his fingers tightened around Suwa's small hand. They reached the private hospital first. Ji-hoon's people had already called ahead. Doctors waited at the door. They checked Suwa first. She was fine, just needed rest and some medicine for her throat. Then they took Amara. Ji-hoon waited outside the room. He paced. He didn't know why he was waiting. He could have left. He should have left. But he stayed. When Amara came out, her leg was bandaged. She had a small cut on her arm too, covered now. She looked tired but still smiled when she saw him. Thank you, sir, she said. For the doctor. I can take the bus from here. Ji-hoon shook his head. The driver will take you home. And tomorrow, come to the office. Amara blinked. But you fired me. Ji-hoon looked away for a second. Then he looked back. I was wrong. The words sounded strange coming from him. Like they didn't fit in his mouth. Amara's eyes got big. She didn't know what to say. Ji-hoon continued. Suwa likes you. She asked for you just now, before she fell asleep. She called you auntie again. Amara smiled softly. She's a sweet girl. Ji-hoon nodded once. Come at 9 a.m. We'll talk about your job. Amara didn't argue this time. She just said, okay, thank you. The driver took her home. She lived in a small apartment far from the fancy part of Seoul. She climbed the stairs slowly, leg hurting. When she opened the door, she sat on her bed and cried, not from pain, but from relief. Her job was back. And maybe something else was starting. The next morning, Amara arrived at the building at 8:45. She wore her best blouse and skirt, not the cleaning uniform. She felt nervous. People stared at her in the lobby. They whispered. Everyone knew what happened last night. She went up to the 45th floor. Ji-hoon's secretary looked surprised to see her. Miss Amara? He's waiting. Amara walked into the big office. Ji-hoon was standing by the window, looking at the city. Suwa was there too, sitting on the couch with coloring books. When Suwa saw Amara, she jumped up. Auntie! She ran and hugged Amara's legs. Amara laughed and bent down to hug her back. Ji-hoon turned around. He looked different today. Not so cold. Maybe tired. Maybe something else. Sit, he said. Amara sat. Suwa climbed onto her lap like it was normal. Ji-hoon stayed standing. I talked to HR. Your job is back. Same pay. Same hours. But, he paused. I want you to help with Suwa sometimes. After school. When the nanny can't come. Amara looked up. You want me to babysit? Not babysit. Just be there. She trusts you. Amara looked at Suwa, who was playing with her scarf. Then she looked at Ji-hoon. I would love that. But I still have my cleaning shift. Ji-hoon nodded. We'll adjust the hours. You can do both. Amara smiled. Okay. I'll do my best. Ji-hoon walked to his desk. He took out an envelope. He gave it to her. Bonus. For last night. Amara opened it. Inside was more money than she made in 3 months. Her eyes went wide. Sir, this is too much. Take it, he said. For your family. Amara closed the envelope. Tears came to her eyes. Thank you. Really. Ji-hoon didn't smile. But the ice in his eyes was thinner now. You could almost see something warm underneath. Suwa tugged Amara's hand. Auntie, can we draw together later? Amara laughed. Of course, princess. Ji-hoon watched them. For the first time in 3 years, the office didn't feel so empty. But later that afternoon, when Amara was back cleaning the lower floors, she heard whispers from other workers. They say the CEO is keeping her around because of the girl. Yeah, but she's just a cleaner. What does he see in her? Amara pretended she didn't hear. But her heart felt heavy. And up in his office, Jihoon got a phone call. It was from his mother. Jihoon, I heard what happened. Who is this woman? People are talking. Jihoon sighed. She's no one, mother. Just someone who helped. But even as he said it, he looked out the window and wondered why he kept thinking about her smile. The days after the fire started to feel different in the tall glass building. Amara came every evening like before, pushing her cleaning cart through quiet hallways. But now she also came in the afternoons sometimes. She waited in the small playroom on the 40th floor where Suah did her homework after school. Jihoon had made the room just for his daughter, colorful rugs, books, a little table with crayons. Amara brought snacks from home, plantain chips, small sweet biscuits she made herself. Suah loved them. Auntie, tell me the story again, Suah would say, climbing onto Amara's lap. The one about the girl who talked to the moon. Amara would laugh softly and start the story in her warm voice. Suah listened with wide eyes, forgetting her math homework for a while. Jihoon watched from the doorway sometimes. He never said much. He just stood there, arms crossed, listening. Once, when Suah fell asleep on Amara's shoulder, Jihoon walked over quietly. He lifted his daughter without waking her. Their hands brushed for a second. Amara looked up. Jihoon's eyes met hers. Neither of them looked away right away. Thank you, he said low. For today. Amara nodded. It's my joy. But not everything was soft and warm. The whispers in the building grew louder. In the cleaning staff room, people talked when they thought Amara wasn't listening. She thinks she's special now. Saved the boss's kid one time, and suddenly she's in his office every day. I heard she's babysitting for free. Who does that? Amara kept her head down. She smiled at them anyway. She cleaned faster. She worked harder. She didn't want trouble. One afternoon, the head of HR called her to a small meeting room. A woman named Ms. Park sat there with a folder. She didn't smile. Miss Amara, Ms. Park said, there have been complaints. Amara's stomach turned cold. Complaints? Some employees feel you are getting special treatment. Coming to the executive floor. Spending time with Mr. Kang's daughter. It's causing gossip. Amara looked at her hands. I only do what Mr. Kang asked. I help Suah when he needs it. I still clean my full shifts. Ms. Park closed the folder. We're not saying you did anything wrong. But perception matters in this company. Be careful. Don't give people more to talk about. Amara left the room feeling small again. Like the first day Jihoon told her she was replaceable. That evening, she was mopping the 30th floor when Jihoon appeared. He was alone. No tie. Sleeves rolled up. He looked tired. He stopped a few steps away. You're working late. Amara kept mopping. I have to finish. Jihoon watched her for a moment. Then he said, Suah asked for you again today. She drew a picture. It's you and her holding hands. Amara stopped moving the mop. She smiled even though her eyes stung. She's a good girl. Jihoon stepped closer. I heard about the HR meeting. Amara looked up fast. How? People talk. I listen. He paused. I told them to leave you alone. If anyone bothers you again, tell me. Amara shook her head. I don't want to cause problems for you, sir. I'm okay. Jihoon's jaw tightened. You're not causing problems. They are. He looked like he wanted to say more, but then he just nodded once and walked away. Amara finished her shift. She went home feeling mixed up. Happy because Suah liked her, sad because the world still saw her as the cleaner who didn't belong. The next week, Jihoon had to go to Busan for a business meeting. 2 days. The nanny was sick. He asked Amara if she could stay with Suah at the house. Amara said yes without thinking twice. The Kang house was big. Too big. Marble floors. Huge windows. Pictures of Suah everywhere, but no pictures of the mother who passed away. It felt empty even with all the things. Suah was excited. Auntie is staying. We can make cookies. They baked in the big kitchen. Amara taught Suah how to roll dough. They laughed when flour got on their noses. They watched cartoons on the huge TV. Suah fell asleep on the couch with her head on Amara's lap. Amara covered her with a blanket. She sat there watching the little girl sleep. Her heart felt full. Then the front door opened. Jihoon walked in early. His meeting finished sooner than expected. He stopped when he saw them. Amara looked up. She stood carefully so she wouldn't wake Suah. You're back, she whispered. Jihoon nodded. He took off his jacket. He looked at his daughter sleeping peacefully. Then at Amara. She hasn't slept this well in months, he said quietly. Amara smiled. She just needed someone to stay with her. Jihoon walked closer. He stood beside Amara. They both looked down at Suah. For a long time, no one spoke. Then Jihoon said, "I haven't thanked you properly." "You don't have to." "I do." He turned to face her. "You saved her life. You make her smile. You make this house feel less cold." Amara's cheeks felt warm. She looked down. "I'm glad." Jihoon took a step closer. His voice dropped even lower. "I've been thinking about you. A lot." Amara's heart started beating fast. She looked up at him. His eyes weren't cold anymore. They were searching. Soft. "Sir." "Jihoon," he said. "Call me Jihoon." Amara's breath caught. She opened her mouth to answer, but then Suah stirred on the couch. "Daddy." Suah mumbled sleepily. Jihoon bent down and picked her up. She wrapped her arms around his neck. He looked back at Amara. "Stay for dinner," he said. It wasn't a question. Amara nodded slowly. "Okay." They ate together at the big table. Simple food, rice, kimchi, soup Amara helped make. Suah talked the whole time. Jihoon listened. He even smiled once or twice. After Suah went to bed, Jihoon walked Amara to the door. Outside, the night was cool. The driver waited in the car. Jihoon stopped her before she stepped out. "Amara." She turned. He looked at her for a long moment. Then he said, "Thank you. For everything." Amara smiled. "Good night, Jihoon." She got in the car. As it drove away, Jihoon stood at the door watching until the lights disappeared. But back inside the house, his phone buzzed. A message from his mother. "I heard she was at your house tonight. People are talking more now. Be careful, Jihoon. She's not from our world." Jihoon stared at the screen. His face hardened again. Not at Amara. At the words. He typed back one sentence. "She saved my daughter. That's all that matters." He hit send. Then he turned off the phone. But deep down, he knew the whispers wouldn't stop. And he knew something else too. He was starting to care what Amara thought. More than he wanted to admit. Chapter 4. The Storm Inside. The next few weeks passed like a quiet dream that could break any second. Amara came to the house more often. Not every day, but enough that Suah started waiting by the door when she heard the bell. She'd run to hug Amara's legs, shouting, "Auntie's here! Auntie's here!" They did everything together. Homework, drawing, cooking simple things like jollof rice that Amara taught Suah how to make, even if the little girl mostly stirred the pot and made a mess. Suah started speaking a few words in Amara's language, simple things like thank you in Yoruba. Amara laughed every time. Jihoon was home more too. He canceled late meetings. He left the office earlier. He told himself it was for Suah. But sometimes he found himself watching Amara when she didn't know he was looking. The way she tied her scarf. The way she sang softly while washing dishes. The way she looked at his daughter like she was the most precious thing in the world. One evening, after Suah went to bed, Jihoon asked Amara to stay for tea. They sat in the living room. The city lights sparkled outside the big windows. Jihoon poured tea for both of them. He didn't speak right away. Then he said, "You make her happy. More than I ever could alone." Amara held the warm cup in her hands. "She makes me happy too. She reminds me of my little sister back home." Jihoon looked at her. "You miss them?" "Every day." Amara's voice was soft. "But I send money. I call. It's enough for now." Jihoon nodded slowly. "I never asked why Seoul. Why this job?" Amara smiled a little sadly. "Better pay than back home. And I wanted to see the world. Seoul looked so bright in pictures." Jihoon looked down at his tea. "I've lived here my whole life. And I still feel like I haven't seen anything real." They sat in silence after that. Not awkward silence. The kind of silence where two people are starting to understand each other without words. But outside their little bubble, things were getting darker. Jihoon's mother came to the house one Saturday afternoon. She didn't call first. She just arrived with her driver and walked in like she owned the place, which, in a way, she still thought she did. Mrs. Kong was small but sharp. Perfect hair. Perfect clothes. Eyes that missed nothing. She found Suah playing in the garden with Amara. They were blowing bubbles. Suah was laughing so hard she could barely stand. Mrs. Kong watched from the doorway for a minute. Then she cleared her throat. Suah ran over. "Grandma." Mrs. Kong hugged her granddaughter quickly. Then her eyes went to Amara. Amara stood up. She bowed politely. "Good afternoon, ma'am." Mrs. Kong didn't return the greeting. She looked Amara up and down. "So you're the cleaner?" Amara kept her smile. "I work in the company, yes. And I help with Suah sometimes." Mrs. Kong turned to Sua. Go inside, dear. Grandma needs to talk to your father. Sua looked at Amara, confused. Amara nodded gently. Go on, baby. I'll be right here. Sua went inside slowly. Mrs. Kong waited until the door closed. Then she spoke to Amara in a low, cold voice. I don't know what game you're playing, but it ends now. Amara blinked. Ma'am, you think you can come into this family? A cleaner? An outsider? My son has a reputation. A future. A name to protect. Amara's hands tightened at her sides. I'm not trying to take anything. I only help because Sua needs it. And Mr. Kong asked me. Mrs. Kong stepped closer. Don't pretend to be innocent. I've heard the stories. You stay late. You cook for them. You sleep over when he's away. People talk. And I won't let gossip ruin what we built. Amara's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't let them fall. I have never done anything wrong. I respect your son. I love your granddaughter. That's all. Mrs. Kong smiled, but it was thin and mean. Love. You think love matters here? You're not one of us. Go back to where you came from before you cause more damage. She turned and walked inside. Amara stood there alone in the garden. Bubbles floated around her, popping one by one. Her chest hurt so much she could barely breathe. When Ji-hoon came home an hour later, his mother was waiting in the living room. She didn't waste time. You need to fire her. Today. Ji-hoon frowned. What are you talking about? That woman. The cleaner. She's getting too close. Sua is attached. People are talking. It looks bad. Ji-hoon's face hardened. She saved Sua's life. She makes Sua happy. I don't care what people say. Mrs. Kong stood up. You're being foolish. Think about the company. Think about your future wife, the one we already discussed. The daughter of the Lee family. She's waiting for you to propose. Ji-hoon's voice dropped. I'm not marrying anyone right now. His mother laughed without humor. Because of her? A maid. She's not a maid. She's Amara. And she's more real than anyone in our circle. Mrs. Kang's face turned red. If you keep this up, you'll lose everything. I won't stand by and watch. She left without another word. Ji-hoon stood there for a long time. Then he went to the garden. Amara was still there. She was sitting on the bench now, looking at the ground. Her scarf was in her hands. She was twisting it slowly. Ji-hoon sat beside her. He didn't speak at first. Finally he said, I'm sorry. About my mother. Amara wiped her face quickly. It's okay. I understand. No. It's not okay. He turned to her. I don't want you to leave. Amara looked at him. Tears were still in her eyes. But maybe she's right. Maybe I don't belong here. Ji-hoon reached out. He touched her hand, gently, like he was afraid she would disappear. You belong wherever you want to be. And I want you here. Amara looked down at their hands. Her voice was small. Ji-hoon, what are we doing? He didn't answer right away. Then he said, I don't know. But I know I don't want to stop. He lifted her chin so she looked at him. His eyes were soft now. No ice left. I'm falling for you, Amara. And it scares me. But not enough to let you go. Amara's breath caught. She searched his face. Then slowly she leaned forward. Their lips met, soft, careful, like they were both afraid it might break. It was short. But it was everything. When they pulled apart, Amara whispered, I'm scared too. Ji-hoon smiled, just a little. The first real smile she'd ever seen from him. Then we'll be scared together. They sat there until the sun went down. Holding hands. Not saying much. Just feeling. But inside the house, Sua had woken up from her nap. She looked out the window and saw her daddy and auntie sitting close. She smiled big. Then she ran to tell her teddy bear the good news. Outside, though, the storm wasn't over. Because Ji-hoon's phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. A photo. It was Amara, leaving the house late one night. And below it, one line. End it. Or everyone will see this. And more. Ji-hoon stared at the screen. His jaw clenched. Someone was watching. Someone wanted to hurt them. And they were just getting started. Ji-hoon stared at the message on his phone. The photo of Amara leaving his house late at night. The threat underneath it. End it. Or everyone will see this. And more. His thumb hovered over the screen. For a moment, fear flashed through him. Not for himself, but for her. For Sua. For the quiet, beautiful thing that had started growing between them. He deleted the message. Then he blocked the number. But he knew that wouldn't be the end. The next morning, he called his head of security. A quiet man named Min who had worked for him for 10 years. Someone is watching the house, Jihoon said. Cameras. Phones. Find out who. And make sure no one gets near Amara or Suwa. Min nodded. I'll handle it, sir. Jihoon didn't tell Amara about the threat. Not yet. He didn't want to scare her. But he started driving her home himself after her shifts. He made excuses. It's late, or the bus is full. Amara noticed he was quieter, more watchful, but she didn't push. Days passed. They stole moments. A brush of hands when handing Suwa a cup. A quick look across the room that lasted too long. A late-night tea where they talked about nothing and everything. One evening, Suwa drew a picture. 3 stick figures holding hands. One tall with dark skin and a colorful scarf. One smaller with pigtails. One in a suit with a big smile. The first time she had ever drawn her daddy smiling. Suwa ran to Jihoon. Look, Daddy. This is us. Me, Ani, and you. We're a family. Jihoon looked at the picture. His throat got tight. He knelt down. You want that? Suwa nodded fast. Yes. Ani stays forever. Jihoon glanced at Amara. She was standing in the doorway, eyes shining. He stood up slowly. He walked to her. Took her hand in front of his daughter. Suwa, he said gently. Go play for a minute. Daddy needs to talk to Auntie. Suwa giggled and ran off with her drawing. Jihoon looked down at Amara. I'm tired of hiding, he said. I want this. Us. For real. Amara's voice shook. But your mother, the company people. I don't care. He stepped closer. I lost too much already. My wife. Years of being cold. I won't lose you because of whispers or threats. Amara searched his face. Threats. Jihoon sighed. He told her everything, the photo, the message. He expected her to pull away. To be afraid. Instead, she squeezed his hand tighter. Then we face it together. Jihoon pulled her into his arms. For the first time, he hugged her like he meant to never let go. She rested her head on his chest. They stayed like that until Suwa peeked in and shouted. Group hug. They laughed. All 3 of them together. But the storm came anyway. 2 days later, the photo leaked. Not just one. Several. Amara leaving the house. Jihoon holding her hand in the garden. Even a blurry one of them kissing. It spread fast, business forums, gossip sites, social media. Headlines screamed. Kong Jae-hoon dating the cleaner? CEO's secret romance with immigrant worker. The company's stock dipped a little. Reporters waited outside the building. Jihoon's mother called 10 times. He didn't answer. Amara saw it when she opened her phone that morning. Her heart sank. She called in sick to work. She stayed home, curtains closed. Jihoon came to her apartment that afternoon. He knocked softly. She opened the door. Her eyes were red. Jihoon, everyone knows now. He stepped inside. Closed the door. Pulled her close. Let them know, he said. I'm not ashamed of you. I'm proud. Amara cried against his shirt. But your life, your name. My life was empty before you. He lifted her face. You gave me back my daughter's smile. You gave me back my heart. Nothing else matters. He kissed her forehead. Then her cheeks. Then her lips, slow, sure, like a promise. They sat on her small couch. She told him about her fears. He told her about his guilt. They talked for hours. Then Jihoon said, I have a plan. The next day, he called a press conference. Not to deny anything. To confirm it. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Jihoon stood at the podium, calm. No tie. Just a simple shirt. I'm here to address the recent photos, he began. Yes. They're real. Her name is Amara. She works in my company. She saved my daughter's life. She brought light back into my home. And yes, I love her. The room went silent for a second. Then exploded. He continued. I don't care about rumors or status. I care about what's real. And this is real. He looked straight into the cameras. If anyone has a problem with that, they can deal with me. But no one touches her. No one threatens her. Or my daughter. We will protect what matters. He walked off the stage. That evening, he went to Amara's apartment again. He brought Suwa. Suwa ran to Amara and hugged her tight. Daddy said we're going to be together forever. Amara looked at Jihoon. He smiled, real, open, no ice left. I meant it, he said. If you'll have us. Amara's tears fell again. But happy ones this time. She knelt down. She hugged Suwa. Then she stood and walked to Jihoon. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I'll have you. They kissed, slow, deep, full of everything they had held back. Suwa clapped her hands. Yay. Family. Months later, things changed. Amara didn't clean anymore. She started classes, business and language courses Jihoon paid for. She wanted to build something of her own. Jihoon stepped back from some company duties. He spent evenings at home, cooking with them, laughing, living. His mother came around slowly. She saw how happy Suah was, how Jihoon smiled again. One day she looked at Amara and said quietly, "Thank you for saving my granddaughter and my son." Amara hugged her. Mrs. Kong didn't pull away. The threat stopped. Min found the person, a jealous employee who wanted Jihoon's attention. They were fired. No more messages. And one quiet evening, under the same city lights that once felt so far away, Jihoon got down on one knee in their garden. A simple ring. No big diamond. Just a band with 3 small stones, black, white, pink, for the 3 of them. "Amara," he said, voice thick, "will you marry me? Will you let me love you every day? Will you stay with us forever?" Amara's hands shook. She nodded. Yes. 1,000 times yes. He slipped the ring on. They kissed under the stars. Suah cheered from the doorway, holding her teddy bear. And in that moment, the cold CEO was gone. Only a man who had learned what love really meant remained. A man who once dismissed the cleaner, now couldn't imagine life without her. If this story touched your heart like it did mine, please subscribe to the channel right now and turn on notifications. We've got so many more beautiful AfroK tales coming your way. Thank you for staying with us till the end. Love you all. Sparkling Heart.